Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This week's a good week, so I'm in a good mood. I'm in a little bit of a good mood. We're gonna try to do all these videos. I got a lot of videos to catch up on. We're gonna try to do all these videos today. We got TierZoo, right? We got Mr. Beast. We got Casual Geographic, Zip Frank. We got I'm gonna try to do all these, okay? Okay, let's get into it. All these videos after this, the intro gonna be way shorter. We trying to get this as fast as possible. I'm missing too much videos. Let's go. This TierZoo vid is titled "Are Crows OP?" Now, what I do know about crows from watching TierZoo and Casual Geographic is that now crows know how to speak human. Everything's trying to become a human. Now the crows know how to speak human. We're gonna figure out our crows are OP. What do y'all think? I think crows are OP. Crows are like one of the smartest animals in the entire world. But let's see.
They've already lost. They just don't know it. Hit him from behind.
Ew, what's that underneath? Is that like fur underneath the turkey?
Attack! Save it for the enemy. We've lost control of the command post.
Yes, sir. TierZoo. I think this is our first time watching TierZoo on the channel.
Notorious for their incredibly broken intelligence stat, which grants them access to incredible advanced techniques such as tree use,
Who gave them
team strategies, and even bartering and trade. But primates are not the only faction in the game with a high intelligence stat. Cetacean, cephalopod, and bird mates also commonly opt not to spec into powerful damage-dealing abilities, and instead invest into leveling up their brain power skill tree. While this does seem like a risky choice, leaving the player more vulnerable in direct combat, in actuality, this often results in a much less risky playthrough. As the player's intelligence opens up more options for them to progress that don't require winning in combat. This is especially true of the bird faction, as their ability to fly already allows them to quickly escape most unfavorable combat encounters.
Whoa!
Their ability
Where'd
to
that
fly
fish come
already
from?
allows them to quickly escape most
under his
unfavorable
feet.
combat encounters. Today, we're going to discuss one of the two main intelligence-centered bird builds, the faction that contains crows, ravens, and magpies, the corvid. This video is going to
I used to think crows and ravens were the exact same thing, because they kind of do. I don't know the exact differences. I just know in my head, ravens are bigger, crows are smaller. I don't know what's the difference,
crows as an example, but generally, what I say in this video should apply to most corvids.
Question.
What the fuck?
First, let's discuss their stats, as well as the abilities and strategies that exemplify them.
Right.
We'll begin with their stealth stats,
TierZoo,
which
this is
corvids
too
aren't
bright.
particularly excellent.
I can't see the numbers.
The most popular corvid skins are either jet black or piebald, neither of which grant the user that strong of a stealth bonus. In fact, in snowy areas, jet black feathers are actually one of the least effective choices when trying to remain
at night. That would help, right?
Dark appearance is most effective as camouflage at night.
Yeah.
But crows and other corvids are not nocturnal builds, so they aren't really gaining this benefit from it.
Right.
Now, granted, stealth typically isn't all that important for birds, given how agile and vigilant they are. Plenty of other high-tier avian builds, like for example parrots, are arguably some of the least stealthy birds in the game.
Right.
And they do just fine. You could even argue that corvids are even less stealthy than their black
feathers. Well, they don't do
feathers
just fine, because they're almost extinct.
Initially appear, as their iridescence
they're doing terrible, actually.
Easier to see for certain other players, typically other birds. Ultimately, I think it's safe to say stealth is not an important part of their game plan. At least nowhere near as important as it is for ambush predator builds, like the owl. The main predators a crow needs to worry about are raptors. And because of the raptor's keen eyesight ability, it's unlikely having a higher stealth stat would make much of a difference anyway. The crow's defense and constitution stats are fairly average for a bird.
How is he getting his 3D shot? Hold on.
Birds have hollow bones, and their feathers offer very little in terms of defense. Feathers do absorb some blunt force damage, but when it comes to slashing and piercing damage, it's nearly useless. And because of their hollow bones, which make them more vulnerable to blunt force damage, the benefit there kind of cancels out as well. Snakes, cats, raccoons, raptors, and dogs all have a high chance of taking a crow out in one hit, so they cannot let their guard down when interacting with any damage dealer builds.
I lost all 20
hearts.
hearts.
Their playstyle necessitates taking some risk. Pro players definitely wish they had more room for
error.
Thankfully, they're taking some risk.
That nigga's on the go.
Definitely wish they had more room for error.
Your ass is not getting away.
Stat makes it pretty easy to avoid damage.
That nigga sucks.
The crow's mobility is a little above average for a mid-sized
Is this
bird,
AI?
which is to say excellent. Birds in general are just extremely agile, both on the ground and in the air, making them extremely hard to land an attack on if they see you coming. Some bird builds, like geese and junglefowl, require significant startup in order to get airborne,
Yeah,
meaning that they
flamingos
can't
suck.
rely on their flight to escape danger if the danger is already right in front of them.
Nigga, he's alive
Crows
still.
are not one of these bird builds, and in contrast, the startup on their flight move has some shockingly broken frame data,
Yeah, little to
and allows
none.
them to quickly and easily reposition themselves in basically any direction in 3D space almost
Damn.
instantly. This makes their ability to dodge attacks one of the best in the entire game, and makes what would normally be fairly dangerous positions, such as right next to a powerful predator, quite safe as long as the Corvid doesn't use any laggy moves. This synergizes
Right.
well with the Corvid's combat moveset, as we'll discuss in a moment. Corvids are blessed with many high
Yo,
stats,
is he about to
but
eat his
power is not
ass?
one of
What is
them.
going on?
Their ability to deal damage is one of the weakest in their weight class, as their only attack option is a simple pecking strike. This move has quick startup
like,
and very
"Ah!"
little end lag, but its damage is egregiously low. Simply attacking with this move will deal minimal damage to anything larger than an insect. Most
Is
players
that
will be
like
able
a
to
bird?
ignore this attack's damage. However, this doesn't mean a crow's attacks are
Yo,
useless.
why
It
they
just means
keep
they've
going
gotta be
for
clever
the
about how to use them.
butthole?
A well-placed peck can provoke an attack, and if you're able to move out of the way quick enough, the enraged player will end up being forced to lash out at whoever just happens to be nearby,
Right.
and create an opening for the Corvid player to capture
Why
an
did he
objective,
do
steal
that?
some loot, or escape trouble.
Why? If you, if somebody hits you and you look around and you see, well, I guess we do it too. If somebody hits us and we look around, we see nobody but that nigga over there. That nigga's getting it, 100%.
It might seem like a jank strategy, but really this is the bread and butter of Corvid gameplay, and can lead to massive swings in advantage. The chance to afflict the enraged status effect scales with the user's intelligence stat, so the reason this strategy works so well is that the Corvid's intelligence stat is ridiculously high for a
instigating.
non-primate.
Why is he starting to
Corvids
fight?
are tied with parrots for the highest intelligence
This
stat
has to
in
be
the entire
AI.
avian faction.
This is crazy.
And in addition to enabling the goading strike moveset, having high intelligence grants Corvids access to a lot of other powerful techniques too, including the ability to use tools. Tool use is one of the most notoriously powerful abilities in the entire game.
Is he actually
And in
driving
Crows,
this
this is
shit?
no less true. By using hook-shaped wooden sticks, crows can score kills on grubs that are
that shit-
normally safe from everything
I feel like
except
he's
for
digging into
woodpecker
my
attacks.
face.
And given how many expensive
Ah,
niche currently safe
hold
from
on.
everything except for woodpecker attacks.
What are those things right there? Are those things called grubs? Those grub, bro. Ever since I was little, I had just thinking about it. Ever since I was little, I've had like a little I don't know. They just always disgust me. Cause one time, I'm gonna give you all a little story real quick. One time, I was like, a little kid. Of course, I was a little kid one time. Me and my sister, my cousins, and my cousin's friend, we all went out, and then we just went to this random apartments, and we just started digging up the dirt. Just doing little kid shit. And of course, my cousin's friends, they were white. So one day, we were digging, right? And she picked up one of those grubs out of the ground. We was like, ew, what the fuck? Put it back. And then she dropped it into like a bush, and it just sunk in. All slimy and shit. Ugh, disgusting.
And given how many expensive niche perks
Disgusting.
woodpeckers
I'm sorry.
need to spend
Y'all didn't
to
ask for that.
be able
I'm
to
sorry.
perform these sorts
Y'all
of
said
drone
watch the
attacks,
video? Okay.
The ability to bypass all of that investment while still gaining the same rewards is a huge boon to the crows. But high intelligence has far more benefits than just allowing crows to copy the success of hyper-specialized builds. Arguably the most important benefit is team tactics.
So-
This is what allows baboons to fight off lions, what allows ants to bring down tarantulas,
Damn.
and what allows wolves to prey
nasty.
upon bison.
Damn.
When crows work together, they can capture
Nigga,
territory,
that wasn't
and what
even their
allows wolves
fault.
to prey
He
upon
beat-
bison. When crows work together,
fucked
they
him
can
over.
capture territory and
That was not
control
the
points
wolves.
of interest that they'd otherwise be helpless to defend. They can even rescue each other from what would otherwise be guaranteed lethal attacks, using a tactic called mobbing.
Right.
Mobbing is a strategy most commonly seen in birds, consisting of bombarding a
Damn.
single target with a barrage of both physical and sonic attacks. On their own, these would be easy to shrug off, but when you're getting pecked at and screeched at from
Bro,
all
do
directions
something.
at once, it inflicts heavy physical and psychic damage. This is what allows social corvids, like magpies and crows, to successfully chase away predators several times their size. Ravens, on the other hand,
Right.
tend not to really need the help, as they're large enough to handle most opponents one-on-one, but can still team
That's a
up in
big
order to
raven.
lock down a good source of carry-on. Alternatively, they may even ally themselves
Those
with
are
wolf
ravens,
players,
okay.
leading them to a carcass and letting them do the
ravens
work
is
fighting off
huge.
their competition before sharing in the rewards. Anyway, that's a basic overview of the Corvid build. Now let's talk about their matchups. The Corvid matchup chart is heavily dependent on how effective their goading strike
they
and
gotta be
mobbing
an A,
techniques
right?
are against a given target. Luckily, because of how high the Corvid's intelligence stat is, the list of targets goading strike works against
That's
is
smart.
quite long.
That's smart.
It
That's
is
smart.
best against builds with lower intelligence stats. Things like vultures, things like reptiles, and things like rodents. What's more, this technique even works on one of the Corvid's 2 primary threats,
Why?
feline builds.
Animals are
Deadly
so
as cats
stupid.
are, they're often quite reactive and easily aggroed.
Hold
So
on.
goading strike is the perfect tool to redirect their ferocity.
It seems to just be cats. Crows just like cats fighting. Every time they hit a cat, for some reason, any other cat in the vicinity, the cat goes for them.
This
It's like,
move is
why?
admittedly less effective
Turn
against
around and
Corvid's
kill the
other main
bird.
concern, raptors. However, thankfully the mobbing technique is quite effective against
That nigga started
raptors.
sliding.
So for both of their main threats, the crow players have options. The only builds these techniques aren't that effective against are other high intelligence builds, such as monkeys and parrots. Because of their extremely strong social bonding and top-tier intelligence stat,
Yeah, they have an
parrots are
orgy.
highly resistant to psychic damage and do not turn on each other easily. In fact, when pestered by a corvid, they are likely to defend each other fiercely using their own, more powerful beaks and louder shrieks. One-on-one, they're fairly evenly matched, so it tends to just come down to size. But in groups, corvids tend to have difficulty forcing parrots away from an objective. As for monkeys, their higher HP allows them to more easily ignore the pecking attacks of a crow. And they're used to getting their tails tugged all the time by their own party members,
Damn!
so a crow doing it is
That kid
unlikely to
did not
provoke
make
punishable
it
response.
past the year.
Crows and parrots have
terrible
an
mom.
interesting dynamic. I've said in previous videos that I believe parrots to be the more viable build. They have higher
Right.
dexterity with their beaks, their sonic shriek attack is incredibly effective, they're more social, and arguably more intelligent even. And yet, of the 2 most intelligent
crow.
bird builds, there's no denying that in the city
fuck
biome,
was?
corvids are much more successful. I think the
How?
reason for this is that even though parrots are indeed more powerful on their own, and are better at using most tools than crows are better at using the most important tools, other players. From provoking attacks and redirecting aggression,
it's just cats
to
are just
using passing
stupid.
vehicles to deal damage for them and unlock
That's why I'm
high-value
getting a dog.
loot. Corvids are the best of the best when it comes to using other build strengths to cover for their
They
own
just
shortcomings.
kiss.
And if the human build's dominance is any indication, co-opting the strengths of less intelligent builds is one of the strongest strategies you can possibly execute in the game. And it's for this reason that corvids sit proudly in S tier. Speaking
Right,
of builds
yeah.
with a
Oh, they're
high success rate
S-tier.
within the city biome, another creature that thrives in cities
Why did
is
he
the
just get
centipede.
louder? Stop
With
trying
their
to talk
quick,
over me,
twitchy movement
TierZoo.
and flat shape, they have no trouble weaving through all of the nooks and crannies common in urban environments.
Ew!
This is the subject of my next video, which will be out on YouTube in a month or so.
Right.
However, if you'd like to watch that video right now,
Not
you can
really, I'm just
access
gonna
it
watch
a
it next
month
month.
in advance on Nebula.
I'ma catch
the
it next
sponsor of
month.
today's video.
The sponsor
Now,
of
many
today's
of you
video?
have heard of
Okay.
Get to the right. Visuals I'm most proud of features the men.
Okay.
I doubt many of you know this.
You said
See,
you're
they
a
have by
sponsor?
floor and Maul out, so that
Oh,
you are not
shit.
provoked into a battle that
Yeah,
you
that's a
prefer
nice
slash
sponsor, for
TierZoo.
real.
Always good.
This is a long ass sponsor, TierZoo. Okay, we're done. We're done with this video. That's a nice ass video. Alright, W video from TierZoo. W video. Thank you guys for sitting here and watching this video. We got more videos on the way. I'm gonna record the rest of them right now. So stay tuned for the next one. I told you subscribe. Hit that subscribe, the bell, right? It says all on it. Press all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.